Hi, welcome to today's class. You'll need one blanket or towel just in the beginning, and you could have a block handy if you need it, but it's not a requirement. And then if you have your blanket or a towel, or it could even be a couple of towels stacked together, you'll just roll it into a little bolster. And if you, for whatever reason, don't have a towel or a blanket or really nothing, don't worry. It's just the very beginning of class. So you'll put your little bolster horizontally on your mat, and then I want you to come and lay down on your side so that the sort of fleshy place between your lowest rib and your hip bone, not hip bone, is over the blanket. So you should feel like it just sort of pushes into that fleshy place, and then you could do whatever you want with the legs. I want you to just kind of roll back and forth on the blanket. So a lot of time we do abdominal rolls with the blanket. This is a little bit different. You're more in the side waist. We'll roll onto the belly in a moment. And really there's no prescription here. Just want you to kind of move back and forth. Could be very slow. You could find a spot or two and just stay there. You might find that one plane of the body feels very different. So maybe when you roll to the front, it's very sensitive, or when you roll more towards the back ribs, to the lumbar spine area, that it's more sensitive. Okay, and then you'll just roll yourself onto the belly, so the blanket will stay there. And it's a little bit different than the belly roll we normally do, so now of course it's going horizontally. But I have myself propped up on my forearms and elbows, and you're just gonna sort of rock your hips back and forth like you were sloshing some water in a bucket. And again, this could be kind of slow rocking back and forth. It could be very, very swishy and fast. And depending on what's happening in the front body, in the abdominals, it could feel atrocious, or it could feel totally fine. And again, if you find one spot that you think you'd like to just spend a little bit more time in, that's perfectly fine. Okay, and then you'll roll onto your right side, same thing, the little bolster is positioned right in the fleshy part between the bottom ribs and the hips, and then you'll, again, kind of just rock back and forth. If you find, again, one spot that's more interesting, you can hang out there for a bit. Okay, and then you'll roll yourself back onto your belly again. Prop yourself up on your forearms. You might need to readjust on the blanket. And again, swish, 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 hips from side to side. You could hang the head. Try not to hold the breath, but breathe naturally. Okay, and then have a look at your left forearm. Align it as if you were going to be in a forearm plank. and then roll back onto the left side. You, again, might need to just readjust the blanket a little bit, that's okay. And then step your right foot forward, so have the toes, I have them kind of on the diagonal towards the back of the mat. And then I just want you to push the right hand into the right knee and thigh and open the chest a little bit. So your side ribs will just be resting on this little support of the blanket. And if you need to adjust to make that a little bit more accessible, go right ahead. Pull your left shoulder back in space and then turn and open more with the right side. Okay, and then you'll just switch sides. You're gonna roll through the belly. Right forearm will align on the floor. You roll onto the right side. Left foot steps in front, left foot at the diagonal. And then left hand to left knee or thigh. Turn and rotate the left ribs open, but don't let that right shoulder hike up. So pull the right shoulder back in space. Okay, and then you'll, don't fall over, move onto your belly, and then just take your hands underneath the shoulders and push yourself up onto your hands and knees. And then you'll leave the blanket right where it is, but just walk the knees up onto the blanket so that the tops of the feet are on the floor, and then you'll sit back into a supported Vajrasana, and with the knees lifted, there'll be a little bit more stretching in the tops of the feet. And then take your hands behind the head, interlace the fingers so the elbows point out to the sides. And then I just want you to tip from side to side. So you're doing little side bends. So as you bend to the right elbow comes down, left elbow comes up. And starting to open and access the stretching of the side body and the ribs. And notice as one side contracts and crunches, the other side is, of course, stretching and opening in opposition. Okay, and the next time that the right elbow comes down towards the side and you're bending to the right, just pause for a moment and then try to tip your left elbow down and bend forward a little bit. So you're sort of side bending and forward folding, and then come up and come to the left. Right elbow will tip down and you'll fold forward. And then continue a few rounds like this, so sort of side bending, forward folding, a little bit of a twist in there as well. Again, it doesn't need to be super prescriptive, just the general idea to get moving. And after you complete your left side, come back up to neutral, and then turn and twist to the right. So right elbow will sort of reach back, left elbow forward, and then reverse to the other side. And then we'll do a few more like this, just moving from the torso, seeing how you can twist without any leverage from the arms or hands. And then eventually come back to neutral. Reach the hands up, push the palms towards the ceiling so you're in a Urdhva Badangalyasana with the hands. And then release and bring the hands in front of the heart into Anjali Mudra. And we'll chant Om once to formally begin practice and get moving. Taking in breath. And then release, lean forward, tuck the toes, and just lift your hips up into a forward fold. And as you fold, you can take the blanket and Just move it really off the mat and the side. And then really fold over the legs. So again, nothing too prescriptive here. You could take any variation of the arms or hands. You could have the knees a little bit bent. I'm moving my neck around because it's super stuck this morning. Just give yourself a few breaths in the forward fold. And then slowly walk yourself out into downward facing dog. And again, a few breaths here just to adjust and open the body. Inhale, release your knees to the floor, arch the spine, drop the belly, open into cow pose. Exhale, round to cat, and then hold cat and try to shorten your right hip to your right shoulder so you're in a little bit of a side crunch. And then go to the other side, so left shoulder and left hip come towards one another, crunch on the left side. Inhale, return the spine to neutral and bring the right knee towards the right armpit so you're crunching on the right side. And then exhale, reach your right leg back behind you to the left and look over your left shoulder. You can just be on the ball of the right foot. Twice more. So inhale, right knee pulls in towards right armpit or right shoulder. And then exhale, reach the right leg straight behind you and to the left, look over the left shoulder. Right knee to right shoulder, so you crunch the right side body. And then exhale, right leg to the left. Inhale, one more time, right knee to right shoulder. And then extend the right leg out to the right and come and stand on your left shin, right foot. Reach the arms overhead, interlace your right hand around your left wrist, and then exhale, side bend to the left. As you breathe here in your gate pose variation, really push down through the left shin and see if you can get longer through the left side body and the left waist. Okay, inhale, come back up to neutral, reach the arms overhead, and then exhale, bring your left fingers to the floor, out, or basically underneath your left shoulder, outside of the left knee, and then reach the right arm over to the left. So now you're opening the side that was just contracted. Okay, circle the right arm down in front of the face, walk the hands to the front of the mat, tuck your left toes, and then step yourself into plank. Take a breath here. Then exhale, bend the elbows and lower yourself all the way down onto the belly. Take the hands wide off the sticky mat. You could be on fingertips or flat palms. And then you'll just do a few rolling cobras. And this could be very simple. You're just sort of rolling up and down. Or you could add a twist so the left shoulder drops in. And then the right shoulder drops in. So you have a few breaths just to move sort of fluidly and organically. Okay, and then roll back down onto the belly. Bring the hands back in line with the shoulders. Take one low cobra, so really activate the legs now. Be a little bit more strict in the alignment. Then tuck the toes and lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, re-ground through the hands, pull the hips up and back, and exhale. Inhale, drop the knees, drop the belly, open the chest, cow. Exhale, round. From cat, shorten left hip to left shoulder. And then just wag right hip to right shoulder. Inhale, return the spine to neutral. Draw your left knee towards your left shoulder. You can look at it. And then exhale, reach the left leg behind you and to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Twice more. Inhale, shorten the left side, crunch it in. Exhale, stretch it long. Look over the right shoulder. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, crunch the left knee in towards the left shoulder, and then step the left foot out to the side for gate pose. Stand up on the right shin, reach the arms overhead. Bracelet your right wrist with your left hand, and then you're coming into your gate pose variation. Really stand in the right shin, so think right foot spreading in neutral. And suck the right hip underneath you, so don't let the right hip sag out to the side. Okay, inhale, come back out to neutral, reach the arms up. And then right hand comes underneath the right shoulder. You can be on fingertips and stretch the left side of the body open. Left arm circles down in front of the face. Walk the hands forward. Tuck your right toes underneath you and then step into plank pose. Take a breath here in a total symmetrical plank. Exhale, bend the elbows lower onto your belly. Again, hand comes wide and off the sticky mat. You have a few breaths for your undulating, rolling cobras. You could do the same thing as you did last time, or it could be very different. Onto the belly, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Feel the inner legs align, tops of the feet press. Inhale, low cobra, much more symmetrical and deliberate. And tuck the toes and press back, downward facing dog. Just a breath to ground, breath to release. Inhale, drop the knees, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. Right shoulder towards right hip. Left shoulder towards left. Inhale, return to neutral. One time, right knee to right shoulder. Exhale, right leg behind you, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, right knee to right shoulder. Extend the leg to the side, stand up for gate pose. Interlace right hand around left wrist. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, come stand up, reach the arms. Exhale, left fingers under left shoulder, reach the right arm long, along the arm. Circle the hands down in front. Listen carefully, a little bit different this time. Tuck the back toes, you're in a plank with the right leg out to the right. And then roll for side plank and walk your right foot back so that the knee is bent and in front of you. Lift the right arm towards the ceiling. And then exhale, right arm along right ear. And as you breathe here, feel the left side ribs crunching and the right side ribs opening. Okay, inhale, step your right hand down, step back to plank. Then exhale, lower onto your belly. Very simple, one low cobra, regular hands down. And then exhale, release, tuck the toes, push into the hands, lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here to ground. And a breath to release. Last time, inhale, knees down, open the chest, cow. Exhale, round. Hips left. Hips right. Inhale, return to neutral, left knee to left shoulder. Exhale, left leg long, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, left knee, left shoulder. Extend the left leg to the side, stand up. Inhale, bracelet the right wrist. Exhale, side. Inhale, come up, reach the arms. Exhale, right fingers under the right shoulder. Reach long through the left arm. Inhale, circle the arms in front. Tuck the back toes, come out to a plank pose with the left leg to the side. And then roll to side plank. Step the left foot back so that the knee is bent. And lift the left arm. Exhale, left arm along the left ear. And then you have a couple of breaths here to feel the right side body contracting as you open the left side body. Left hand comes to the floor, step back into plank. Find the symmetry of the pose. And then exhale, bend the elbows, coming all the way down onto the bed. Inhale, very simple, low cobra, lift the shoulders. Exhale, and then tuck the toes, push yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. See if you can use all of the work in the side body and the ribs to now get a little bit longer in your downward facing dog. As if you were going to separate each rib from one another and create more space. And then very slowly walk your feet towards the top of the mat. Find standing forward bend or Uttanasana once more. Again, it could be any variation of the arms or hands. You could take a moderate wrist stretch with the backs of the hands to the floor. And soften the knees, tuck the tailbone, one vertebra at a time, round up to stand. When you reach standing, just find Tadasana. Take Surya Namaskar A with the feet together, step the big toes to touch. Otherwise, feet can be hip width. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, Urdhva Namaskar, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, prepare. You can either jump to Chaturanga or step back if you prefer. Inhale to upward facing dog, or this can be a cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Bottom of the 5th breath, look forward, prepare, hop or step the feet forward. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. On empty, arms come up overhead, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hands down to center. One more together. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, prepare the spine, lengthen, feel the space of the side ribs. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, jump or step back. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. of the fifth breath, look forward, prepare, hop or step the feet. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. On empty, arms come up overhead. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, hands down, center. Okay, you've got 3 more on your own. Or you could rest. Child's pose. Something totally different. No matter what you've chosen, try to keep the breath steady. So the breath should be facilitating movement, and the movement should also be facilitating the breath, so they work in tandem. One more round. You're still working. When you finish your round, we meet at the top of the mat in a mountain pose. Don't rush if you're still working. Meet in Utkatasana, so find chair pose. Squeeze the inner thighs together, lift the torso a little bit higher. See if you can feel more space between the top of the hips and the lowest ribs. Take another breath. Exhale, fold over the legs. And then any way you want to get to downward facing dog, you could just step back, or it could be through another chaturanga up dog, downward facing dog. Very simple V variation. Inhale, lift your right leg, 3-point pose. Exhale, step the right foot to the right thumb. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, sink the hips a little bit more. Inhale, lift the chest, find a hint of a backward bend. Exhale, hands down, and you can move through chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, or just back to downward facing dog and rest. Inhale, lift your left leg, 3-point pose. Exhale, left foot to left thumb. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, descend in your hips. Inhale, a little bit of a backward bend, lean back. And then exhale, hands down, step through your vinyasa. or to downward facing dog. One more time. I'll walk you through the right. You'll do the left on your own. Right leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, sink. Inhale, backward bend. Exhale, frame the foot, step back. Okay, and then from downward dog, you're on your own for the left side. Super simple. Can't mess it up. Once you reach downward dog. And the bottom of the breath, look forward, prepare, hopper, step the feet forward, lengthen the spine, forward fold. Inhale, come back into Utkatasana and squeeze the knees and thighs together, lift the torso higher, and then stand all the way up. Tadasana. Okay, if you use a block for Ardha Chandrasana, you'll just have it handy, otherwise you really don't need it. And then I like to start with my feet separated, but they could be touching if you prefer. Then you'll just draw the right knee in towards the chest. Use your right hand to hold it up. And then open the right knee out to the side as if you were in half of a squat. And then leave the right knee there. Interlace your hands behind your head so the elbows are pointing out like you did earlier. And then draw the tip of your right elbow towards your right knee. So you're back in this side contraction on the right as the left side is lengthening. And then really squeeze right knee towards right elbow, open the left side of the body, lean your head back a little bit. Take another breath. And then come back up to center and start to transition down into Ardha Chandrasana. So left hand is on the floor, warrior block, right arm is towards the ceiling. And then really open everything up. It was just contracting. So feel this as a release of the balance. Wrap the left hip underneath you and turn and open the chest a little bit more. Okay, right hand comes to the floor, frame the foot, step back to a low lunge, and then step back, downward facing dog. Breath here. And a breath to pause. Then inhale, lift the right leg up, 3-point pose. Open the hip now, bend the right knee, and you can come onto your right fingertips and really look underneath the right armpit. So you're stretching the right side of the body open. It's very similar to Ardha Chandrasana that we just did. Also, same positioning of the left leg as the Ardha Chandrasana that we just did. Okay, and then inhale. You can stay on right fingertips, so right knee to right shoulder, crunch it in, and then go right back to that knee open, downward facing dog. Inhale, right knee to right shoulder, step the right foot outside of the right hand. Tap the back knee, open the chest. And then exhale, fold. Wide, forward fold. Twice more like that. Inhale, tap the back knee, open the chest. Exhale, wide Parsvottanasana. One more, inhale, tap the back knee. Exhale, wide Parsvottanasana. And hold here. Move the right hip back in space. Push into the right big toe a little bit more. Okay, inhale, rebend the right knee. Plant the hands, especially the left hand, and then step into side plank on the left. Legs can be stacked. Bring the right arm up. Exhale, right arm along the right ear. And then move onto your right forearm. Roll to side plank on the right, with your right forearm down. And then I like to step my left foot forward so the legs are crossed. Inhale, take the left hand to the back of the head. Turn and open the chest. And then exhale, try to crunch the left elbow towards your right elbow. Twice more. Inhale, open the chest, reach your left elbow back. Exhale, left elbow to right, crunch it in. One more, turn and open in the chest. Exhale, left elbow towards the right. Inhale, come back to neutral. Extend the left arm towards the ceiling. Come into forearm plank. So really check your feet, make sure they're neutral. And then exhale, lower the belly and the feet to the floor for space pose. Take a breath here as you inhale, push into the palms, straighten the elbows, stretch the abdomen a little bit more. And then exhale, elbows to the side, roll onto the front body. Inhale, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and then either through bent knees or just up and back, downward facing dog. Breath here to ground, and a breath to inhale, knees down to the floor, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. From cat, neutralize the spine. Inhale, right knee to right shoulder. Extend the right leg out to the side. Inhale, come up with arms overhead. And then exhale, back with the right hand onto the right leg and come into a deeper version now of gate pose. So you're really opening the left side body. You have the leverage of your right hand against the right leg. Don't forget the left shin pushing down. Wrap the left hip underneath you. It's the same feeling as an Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, and then come up, left hand will come underneath the left shoulder, and then this time see if you can bend the right knee, reach for the right ankle, and you'll take a quadricep, hip opener. You can turn and open over the right shoulder. Don't let that right knee sag. And then bow the chest and heart forward. And slowly release, just fold your right shin in to meet your left. Sit in Virasana for a moment. Feel the tops of the feet spreading. And then come forward, find plank pose. Exhale to downward facing dog. And then you can walk or step the feet forward. Fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, breathe yourself up to stand. Exhale, hands down to center. Okay, inhale, left knee comes up, draw it in towards the chest. You can use your left hand. Move the left knee out to the left. You're in this sort of standing half squat. Take the hands, interlace them behind the head, elbows pointing out. And then draw your left elbow towards your left knee. Find a contraction in the left side body and the opening in the right side body. Don't let the right hip sag out to the side. So scoop the right hip underneath you. So you can contract more. Can the left elbow and the left knee actually touch one another? Slowly come up to stand and start to transition into Ardha Chandrasana from standing. And then once you reach Ardha Chandrasana, feel it as a release of all of that left side body contraction. Wrap the right hip underneath you and then front foot, step back, downward facing dog. A breath here to check the alignment, regroup. And a breath to ground. Inhale, lift your left leg and then open the hip, bend the knee, come onto your left fingertips. You can look underneath the left armpit as you turn the left side of the body open. Then inhale, left knee to left shoulder, come forward. And then exhale, go right back to that 3-point pose, opening. Inhale, left knee to left shoulder, step the left foot outside of the left hand. Inhale, tap the back knee, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, wide Parsvottanasana. Twice more. Inhale, tap the knee, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. And exhale. And then hold here. Move the left hip back in space, but press the left big toe into the ground. Bend the left knee, plant the right hand underneath the right shoulder, step into side plank. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, left arm along the left heel. Inhale, move onto your left forearm, and then roll to side plank. I like scissoring the legs, not stacking. Right arm reaches up. Take the hand behind the head, turn and open the chest. And then exhale, right elbow to left elbow, crunch it up. Inhale, open and lean back. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, open, lean back. Exhale, crunch it. Inhale, come back up to neutral. Straighten the arm. Come into forearm plank. You can look back at your feet for a moment. Get yourself symmetrical in center. And then lower the hips, the feet. You're in Sphinx pose. Should feel pretty yummy. Push into the hands. Straighten the arms as much as you can. And then move the elbows to the side. Come onto the belly. Inhale. Hands under the shoulders. And just tuck your toes. This could be through hands and knees or straight legs if your arms are tired. Back to downward facing dog. And a breath here to ground. Recenter. Inhale, drop the knees, cow pose. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, neutral spine, left knee to left shoulder. Then extend the left leg out to the side, stand up for gate pose. Then back of the left hand to the left leg. Find the deeper expression of gate pose. Really go for it. Don't let the right hip sink out though. Pull the right hip underneath you. Right shin is actively pressing to the floor. To neutral, and then right fingers underneath the right shoulder. This time see if you can grab for the left foot, and then find first the opening in the left quadricep and left hip flexor, and then try to bow your chest forward. Move the shoulders back, back bend. Left shin in to meet the right. Come and sit on the heels for a moment in Vajrasana. Just close your eyes and observe. Resettle the breath. on your shins. You can have the toes tucked or the feet can be flat as you wish. Bring the arms up overhead and then first interlace the hands behind the head like we've been doing, so elbows are wide. Take a moment to get very long in the torso, so think about the side ribs lifting up, and then start to back bend here. So you're pushing the head into the hands, the elbows are reaching out, and it obviously will be the deepest back bend that you have. But really try to feel it in the upper chest without collapsing in the lower back. And then inhale back out of it for a moment. Switch the clasp of the hands so that the opposite index finger is on the bottom, and then re-express the pose. Come up to neutral and just sit down on your heels for a moment, refine Vajrasana. Okay, and then you'll come up to any variation of camel that you want to do. So it could be more moderate like we just did, or it could be a fuller expression. As you wish. A minute or so more. Camels by resting in between. And if you're not totally comfortable upside down, I would suggest moving to a wall, or you could just skip the variation that I'm going to suggest. And if you need to look at me, you can always look first and then come up. So just get on up there. We'll take a few breaths first, just symmetry. Feel the shoulders moving away from the ears. And okay, now you have gravity working against you, but can you separate the space between the lowest ribs and the top of the hip? So utilize all of that side body awareness that we created in class. Okay, and then you're gonna bend your knees and try to shorten the right side of your body by crunching it in. So as if the knees were gonna fall right over to the right. And then you'll come back to neutral, straighten the legs, lengthen. And then bend the knees and shorten the left side of the body as if you were gonna fall over to the left. So you're crunching side to side. You'll just experiment with that a few more times. And again, if you need the wall, or you're like, this is nuts, don't enjoy, then skip it. And you might feel sort of two things happening, at least I do. One is obviously the work of the obliques, side abdominals, but also a stretching because gravity is opening the opposite side. and one more, right and left. Re-straighten. Bit of a rest. Like to prop your chin up on your hands to counter stretch the neck. Go for it. To a seated position. Extend the legs long in front of you. Just take a moment to find Dandasana so you neutralize the spine, neutralize the legs. And pull the right heel back. So you're bending the knee for Janu Shirsasana. If you like to step the right hip back a little bit, you can. And then just take a moment to really square and turn the navel center over your left knee. And then fold forward for Janu Shirsasana. So you could reach for the foot, you could reach for the ankle or the shin if that's not accessible. Once you have hold of whatever you're using, take a moment to lengthen the spine. So pull the chest forward, move the shoulders back, get longer through the sideways, and then really fold and drape over the legs. Lengthen the spine, slowly come out of it. And extend your right leg and we'll just switch sides. So once the left knee is bent and the left foot is in place again, first turn and center the belly button over the right knee, and then reach for your foot or your ankle or whatever you have. You might find one side is super different. Lengthen the spine more, so move the chest forward and the shoulders back. And then drape yourself over the right leg. Find Dandasana so you have this moment to reset. And then bend the right knee and step the right foot over the left thigh so it's on the outside of the left thigh on the floor. And then you'll take Ardha Matsyendrasana twist here. So the left elbow could be on the outside of the right knee, it could be hugging it. See if you can find a little bit more freedom in your twist from the work that you've done to soften the belly, open the side ribs. Release your twist. Pull the right thigh over the left so you become into knee over knee position, but your left leg is still straight. Take a moment, lengthen the spine, and then fold forward. If the left leg is very sensitive, you might need to sort of just slide one of your palms under the back of the left knee so it doesn't overstretch. You can hook your chin over the right knee, perhaps. Settle into the breath. Bring yourself back up to sit. And you'll just switch sides. So the right leg will straighten. Left knee bends, left foot to the outside of the floor, on the outside of the right foot rather. And then take your Ardha Matsyendrasana twist. Slide the left thigh over the right, tuck the foot in by the hip, knee over knee, lengthen, forward fold. Come up, release your center, and you have one final symmetrical pose of your choice. You could already transition to the back if you like. Take maybe a happy baby, could take a straddle. Maybe another forward fold. Few set of breaths to recenter. So we ended with several asymmetrical poses on each side. Now is a chance to recalibrate and balance in a symmetrical posture. You'll set up for Shavasana. You'd like to use the golden blanket end here in Shavasana if that seems appealing to you.